Hello everyone, in this video we're going to know about penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. So before going deep into penetration testing and vulnerability assessment, first of all let's know that what is vulnerability. So what's a vulnerability? It's actually a flaw or a weakness in the system which led the attacker to compromise that system, or in the short sense it's actually just kind of flaw through which attacker can compromise your system or hack your system. Now what is vulnerability assessment? So vulnerability assessment is an important technique which ensures that our system is secure. Now what's this technique is? What's this process? So this process is actually identifying the vulnerability, making the points that where it was found, and in the last making a report of it. So this is a process of identifying, quantifying and making a report of the vulnerabilities, and by telling the organization that what's the security impact of these vulnerabilities. Now what's the penetration testing? So penetration testing is an extended process of a vulnerability assessment. So as I told you that in vulnerability assessment we'll find the vulnerabilities, we'll scan the vulnerabilities, we'll measure the vulnerabilities, but in penetration testing we'll try to exploit the vulnerabilities, we'll try to get the access of the system. So that's why penetration testing is called as extended process of the vulnerability assessment. So it's a process of evaluating, exploiting the vulnerabilities, and in the last making a report of it. So it's an extended process of vulnerability. So what it includes? It includes scanning, enumerating, exploiting and reporting the vulnerabilities and their security issues. So how's this process going on? What are the steps to perform the penetration test? So the first step is scanning. So scanning includes scanning different targets, different websites, different techniques. So once we scan the open ports like open services running and their version number, we'll do vulnerability assessment. So here you came to know that vulnerability assessment is actually a part of a penetration testing. So once we perform the vulnerability assessment, then the next step is to exploit the vulnerabilities. So once we exploit the vulnerabilities, we'll make a report and we'll submit that report to an organization. So penetration testing and vulnerability assessment are actually two important techniques which ensures to any organization that their network is secure. So in every organization in their premises actually conduct penetration testing and vulnerability assessment to secure their network. So now let's have a look at the difference between penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. As I told you earlier that these two techniques are actually a part of vulnerability management process. So penetration testing is actually exploiting the vulnerabilities and vulnerability assessment is just making a report and just identifying the vulnerabilities. So it's an extended process, it's a small process, and in the last it includes exploiting and it includes telling the impact of the vulnerabilities. So this was all about penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. So in this video we have covered that what is vulnerability assessment, penetration testing and their difference. So thanks for watching this video.